150 years of Zions Bank history in 150 seconds. It all started on July 1, 1873. Pioneer leader Brigham Young considers organizing a savings bank in Salt Lake City called Zions Savings Bank and Trust Company. 4 days later, the bank was incorporated with capital stock of $200,000. That's a lot of money. Maybe I should start a bank in the middle of nowhere. October 1, 1873, the day the doors flew open, cashiers recorded deposits of almost $6,000 by 46 depositors, including 5 women in a women's organization. At the time, few women in the U.S. could open their own accounts without their husbands. During the 1880s and 90s, financial assistance from the bank helped launch several industrial firms that would later become Kennecott Copper, Union Pacific, Rocky Mountain Power, and Dominion Energy. You can bet most major industries in Utah were served by Zions in their formative years. In 1916, a bigger bank was needed in Vernal, Utah. To save money shipping materials, 80,000 bricks from Salt Lake City were wrapped in paper, then thrown in the mailbox. They traveled more than 420 miles by parcel post, much cheaper than sending them by freight wagon. After this stunt, the U.S. Postal Service had to impose weight limits on daily shipments. Today, Zions Bank Vernal office is known as the only bank in the country entirely shipped by mail. During the Great Depression, many banks across the nation closed involuntarily. In February of 1932, worried depositors withdrew $1.5 million in 2.5 days, prompting Bank President Heber J. Grant to place a sign in the window assuring there was no safer bank in the state or nation. By the end of the month, total deposits exceeded withdrawals. Without that sign, this video would have probably ended here. Luckily, it doesn't. On December 31, 1957, Zions Savings Bank and Trust Company, Utah Savings and Trust Company, and First National Bank of Salt Lake City merged to form Zions First National Bank. Also, the apostrophe in Zions was dropped. I never really liked that apostrophe anyway. A few years later, on April 22, 1960, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sold the bank to Keystone Insurance and Investment Company. I guess that's what they call separation of church and bank. Skip ahead to a more recent time, June 1991, Zions Bank starts its annual Paint-a-thon. Sure, the bank lends money, but Zions employees also lend a hand helping dozens of older and disabled homeowners each year. In July of 1997, the Gem State learned what local decision-making really means when Zions Bank entered Idaho. Expanding from Idaho Spuds to Wyoming Studs, Zions entered the Jackson Hole market in 2014. As businesses and nonprofits struggled with shutdowns during the COVID-19 pandemic, Zions Bank quickly provided relief, approving 22,000 Paycheck Protection Program loans. That's a lot of mom-and-pop shops kept afloat. Today, Zions Bank has a workforce of over 1,500 people spread across 121 locations throughout the communities of Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming. They really haven't forgotten who keeps them in business, and that's 150 years of Zions Bank history in 150 seconds.